One, two. Hey, everybody, how you feeling? Yes, I'm honored to be here. I'm a Lower Merion graduate. I've been able to do some fun things in my life, including directing a film, co-directing a film, voicing the NBA Street video games, being a halftime reporter for the New York Knicks, and doing so, becoming the first Latino member of their broadcast team in the 60-year franchise history. But all of those amazing things that I've been able to be a part of in my professional career started very humbly, and I'm going to switch all the way back to me in high school. I loved playing sports. I loved learning as well. And essentially, when I was a kid, played baseball, played football, played basketball, played Ring-a-Lario, played Skelsies, played Blackula, all these crazy street games that we would come up with. And when I was 14, though, I caught the bug for basketball. And I really just said goodbye to everything else and just dove into that sport as well as culture full throttle. And so to the point where from 1980 to 1988, I only missed 3 days of playing basketball. That's it in 8 years. And that's the level of dedication that I had to put forth to become halfway decent. I was a scrub when I first started playing at the Go Park in my neighborhood where I grew up. Well, my dedication was probably a little overboard. I went to Holy Name as a Catholic school from 1st to 8th grade, and very strict environment, had to obey all the rules. And then I transferred to Brooklyn Tech in my 9th grade year, which had 6,000 students. And I wound up failing 7 classes that year, only because I was an A+ student, 1st to 8th, but when I got to Brooklyn Tech, I just would cut class to go play ball. And so my sophomore year, I realized that I didn't have any excuses but to look at myself. And that was one of the first ideas that kind of clicked in my head in terms of a methodology for my life, which was to really stay focused and have self-determination. And that's the first idea that hit. Okay, my parents love me. My mother's a workaholic. My father is a genius, but unfortunately he's an alcoholic. So if I'm going to do well in school and do well in life, I kind of need to focus in and make these steps on my own. So my sophomore year, I did great. I got great grades, kept on playing ball, applied for an academic program that helps gifted minority students called A Better Chance. Got accepted, and they sent me here to Lower Merion High School. In '82, I was a junior, and I went to Lower Merion for 2 years, played on the varsity team, was astounded by the fact that the ABC house was right across the street from the Soul Shack, as well as an outdoor court that had lights where I could play until 1 a.m., which I was not used to growing up in New York. So I was able to really prepare myself for college there, but at the same time, increase my love for basketball. And at the same time as I was doing that, putting forth my body full blast, I was also reading about the sport and learning about the sport and dissecting every single aspect of it, to the point where, for example, in high school, I could tell you every single sneaker that every single student, by row and aisle, for every period that they owned. Like, better than they could. Like, I would say, oh, beautiful Converses. They'd be like, how'd you know I had a new pair of sneakers? Or, you haven't worn those in 3 months. I was a nerd. I just loved basketball, and I loved performance shoes. And so I was able to really dive deep into that culture. I also would read books about The City Game, written by Pete Axthelm, which was the first, that he's like the grandfather of documenting playground basketball. I read about the Harlem Wrens. I tried to just grasp everything. NBA statistics, 1946, founded BAA. I just went head deep into it, and I was using my intelligence, what I had available to me, and my body to really, dive into this game. Anyway, I decided to go to Wesleyan University in Middletown, Connecticut, and got there and hit rock bottom again. Played ball in the gym every single day, like a dummy, wasn't going to class, wound up on academic probation my second semester of my freshman year. My sophomore year, first semester, I wound up on strict academic probation. So again, like now I'm at the moment where self-determination. Are you going to turn this around, get kicked out of one of the top 5 liberal arts colleges in the country, or are you going to try to make something out of your education? And of course, one of the influences was that I wanted to play college basketball. So that was an inspiration to keep me there, to keep me trying to do well in academics. I made JV. I got cut from varsity my freshman year. I made JV my sophomore year, got cut from varsity my second year. Now, mind you, again, I'm playing ball every single day. My junior year, I show up to practice thinking I have a decent shot of making varsity, and I get cut a 3rd year in a row. I cried when I didn't see my name on the list. And it was, I mean, still to this day, even sharing this moment, it was hurtful, because that's 7 years working towards one goal and having it be denied from me. Now, of course, I had to take a little step back, but it didn't stop my love and my passion for the game. So I continued to play ball, and I continued to go to the weight room, and I continued to hit it on a daily basis. And then spring break, my junior year, I was at the Goat Park, where I played ball growing up, and where I play ball still to this day at age 46, and I was killing. I was hitting cats with the crossover and with the ratty, the jump shot, boom, boom, boom. And my man, Ray Diaz, who I always afforded kindness to, and who I looked up to his game as well, he pulled me to the side after a game that we won, and he said, "Yo, Bob, I think you're ready." And I said, "Ray, well," like, it was very vague comment. He said, "Well," I said, "What do you mean?" He was like, "Well, I played professionally in Puerto Rico for 5 years. I'm going to make a call on your behalf to go out there." And I wound up becoming the second. Now, mind you, I got cut 3 years in a row. I became the second professional basketball player in Wesleyan University's history. Now, I'm going to go back. Wesleyan and Yale played the very first collegiate match. So we have as long of a history in college sports as exists. And I became the second pro player. So that was something that was like really, really wonderful, because, and I still hold as one of the greatest achievements in my life. Because I'm 5'10", and I'm 160 pounds. I can't touch the rim. I'm not the quickest guy. But here I was getting paid to do something I love to do and will be doing every single day anyway. And in my homeland, which embedded me as Boricua, growing up, in New York, not speaking English. I'm sorry, not speaking Spanish. There was questions about, my identity, and being able to play in my homeland for life just, crushed it. Okay, yeah, yo soy Boricua, para que tú lo sepas. And that was also the moment that I was like, wow, okay, self-determination, hard work pays off, mind, body, spirit. I'm doing something that I love. I come back to Wesleyan, and I try out for the team my senior year. Now, if you know about basketball, it's highly unlikely that a coach is going to put you on a squad when he has a lot of younger players he can develop, and he only has you for 1 year. I made the team. I made the team my senior year. That probably superseded playing even pro ball, because that was my goal. I didn't think pro ball was attainable. Playing college basketball was. So I'm on the team now, and I'm going to practice every day, but I'm not getting no burn. In fact, the moment the coach told me that I made the team, he told me at the same time, he said, you're not going to get any time. You're not going to get any burn. And he didn't say that, but. So you can quit right now. And it was like the weirdest thing. I was like, wow, I just worked 8 years for this moment, and you're telling me that I can quit. So I stayed on the team. And with the idea that, okay, well, last game of the season, all the seniors start. So at least I can say I started one game in my career. Now, my father, as I mentioned earlier, may he rest in peace, was an alcoholic. And when he came to see me in Puerto Rico, it was very unsettling. I mean, he would stumble in the stands. He would talk to me during the timeouts when the coach was talking, you know, trying to tell plays. And it's a little bit embarrassing, you know. My father never came to see me at Wesleyan because I never made the team. And so I told my dad, I was like, look, the last game of the season, come. And my father in my entire life had never seen me play basketball sober. He showed up to the last senior game clean. And it was beautiful. I was like, wow, like my dad is here. You know, we have an 11-game winning streak. And the coach didn't start me. He didn't even play me. Now, again, I'm going to say that these things could have crushed me. However, self-determination, I kept my love for the game going even higher. And I graduated from Wesleyan in 4 years. I'm very proud to say that. And I left, and I guess the idea that I want to share from that story is that I have no fear of failure. And particularly with students of color and people of color, I think sometimes, unfortunately, we hold ourselves back from moving forward because we're afraid. We're afraid. And so I was able to come out of that with like, wow, like I just went through an incredible ordeal and came out on top, even though most people, when I would come back home, they'd be like, yo, did you play? Nah, got cut. Oh, yo, did you play? Nah, I made the team, but I ain't getting no burn. And so that was empowering for me. And I moved forward. I did not go back to Puerto Rico to play basketball. I decided to enter the music industry, and I started working at Def Jam as a messenger with a degree from Wesleyan University, making $5 an hour. I was able to use that as a platform to get on board in the entertainment, make networks, move up within 3 months to doing promotions. I was working with LL Cool J and Public Enemy, all these platinum artists at the time. After 4 years, I looked at Def Jam, spoke to Russell Simmons, said, you know what, I'm going to leave. Because, again, it was his dream, it wasn't mine. And I really want to lead a life of self-determination. And I had no fear of failure, of going out and working for myself, which I've done since 1993. It's 20 years now. And what I've been able to do in those 20 years is become Wesleyan University's most renowned basketball player in history. The coach now, he's not the coach that was there, uses me as an example of the program to recruit players, which I'm very proud of. I'm humbled by. And I've been able to travel to 35 countries as a DJ and as a ball player. I've done NBA Street Volume 2. I did the Knicks halftime reports. I'm on ESPN every year announcing games. I wrote a book about sneakers. Yeah, I incorporated all that knowledge that I used to be so nerdy about and presented it as a book. And then the funny thing is that going back to Wesleyan, as I told you, I almost got kicked out because of poor academics. I graduated in the bottom 10th% of my class. So I'm like the unlikely dude to have written a book and have received positive reviews from the New Yorker, the New York Times, and all these like high literary publications. And I'm also Wesleyan's film department was phenomenal. You know, we have directors that come out of our school that have, blockbusters, Michael Bay, Transformers. I'm also the unlikely dude to do a film. But in 2010, I approached Kevin Couliau and said, hey, we have no budget, sleep on my couch. For 3 months, we'll go to basketball courts and play ball every single day and document the culture and the community and somehow create a project out of that now has been screened in 6 continents, has won awards at festivals, is available online, has a theatrical run. New York Times, again, came, gave it a positive review. And so I'm very proud to share, particularly here in the Lower Merion School District, which I'm a product of and very proud of, to say that for the TED audience, there are 3 ideas that I want to share. A, self-determination. B, no fear of failure. And the last is basically change is the tonic. I didn't have to leave Brooklyn Tech. It was one of the top 3 schools in New York at the time. I didn't have to stick with basketball as a sport. I didn't have to stay at Def Jam. I was making great money there. I mean, I could have stayed at Def Jam, but in each stage of my life, I stepped out, I had no fear of failure, and I'm very happy to look back at the blessing of what my life exists. I have checked off every single thing. Oh, I forget, I'm a DJ as well, and I've done radio shows that have won awards and everything. So those are the ideas that I want to share with you. I want to thank you for your attention, and it's a blessing to be here. Peace.